All right, let's dive into a timeless story about a golden opportunity and a delay that cost absolutely everything. But before we get into it, let me ask you something right off the bat. What's the real cost of just a few minutes? We all say it, right? I'll get to it in a bit. But what can that little delay actually cost us? That simple question is really at the heart of the whole story we're about to explore. Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off with a king who's about to make an incredible, honestly, a life-changing offer. So, the king approaches this poor and, well, pretty lazy guy named Aditya, and he gives him this royal offer. You can take as much gold as you can possibly carry from the palace treasury. I mean, just think about that for a second. This is the kind of chance that could completely change your life in a single day. Of course, there was a catch. There's always a catch, isn't there? Just one simple but absolutely critical condition. He could have all that gold, but only until sunset. That one little phrase changes everything. This isn't some infinite opportunity. It's a flat-out race against the clock. So, with a life-changing fortune on the line and a ticking clock, how did Aditya respond? Well, this brings us to what you could call the tyranny of later. You know, the single most dangerous thought that popped into Aditya's head was this one. He thought he had plenty of time. It's such a classic trap. It's this idea that we'll have more time, more energy, more everything in the future than we do right now. And for Aditya, this little illusion is where all the trouble really begins. His journey of delay started with a bunch of seemingly small decisions. First, he went home to get some bags, which, okay, that makes sense. But then, on his way back, he decided to stop for lunch. And finally, feeling a little full, he figured, why not take a quick nap under a tree? Each step seems so minor on its own, but together they were just stealing precious daylight. And this is the phrase that pretty much sealed his fate. The little lie he told himself before that nap, it would only be for just a few minutes. Oh man, how many times have we told ourselves that exact same thing? It's the classic seductive trap of procrastination. So how long was his few minutes nap? Get this, 5 hours. Let that sink in for a second. 5 hours of daylight, 5 hours of golden opportunity, just gone. While he was sleeping, the sun just kept on moving across the sky, totally indifferent to his plans. When he finally woke up, sheer panic set in. And this leads us to the frantic and, frankly, heartbreaking climax of our story. The sun sets. He scrambled. He ran as fast as he could, the heavy weight of his mistake pushing him forward. He could see the palace walls getting closer, and finally, completely out of breath, he reached the palace. Just as the last little sliver of the sun dipped below the horizon, he was seconds too late. That brutal finality of the deadline just hit him like a ton of bricks. His plenty of time had officially run out. Forever. And as he arrived, the massive palace gates were bolted shut. The sound of that heavy lock clicking into place was pretty much the sound of his opportunity vanishing into thin air. He was left outside, completely empty-handed. So what can we really learn from Aditya's huge mistake? Let's break down the true price of procrastination. See, Aditya's fundamental mistake was his assumption that this golden, perfect opportunity would just hang around and wait for him to be ready. But the harsh reality, opportunity does not wait. It's on its own schedule, and it moves on whether we're ready or not. Our brains are kind of hardwired to want the small, immediate reward, like a comfy nap, over the much bigger, delayed one, like a treasury full of gold. Aditya chose the comfort of now over the fortune of later. And this brings us right back to that question from the beginning. What was the real cost of Aditya's just a few minutes? The true cost of his delay was everything. He didn't just lose some gold, he lost all of it. He walked away with absolutely nothing. And that leaves us with one final, really important question to think about. Because this isn't just a story about some guy named Aditya from a long time ago. It's a mirror for all of us. So you have to ask yourself, what treasure are you leaving in the treasury until sunset? What incredible opportunity is waiting for you right now that you keep putting off until later?